morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you're deciding to listen to this. I am one of your hosts, Vince Vibes, and this is the weekly roundup giving you the latest and greatest news for your eardrums.
This is Dustin with Showbiz Spotlight.
And, I actually learned that Mr. VS is moving to Destin.
Oh, is he?
So he's gone.
Well, that was his destiny all along.
And Destiny, Mr. VS will probably never be in the studio again. What about you, Anthony?
Good for him.
Will you ever be in the studio again?
Well, maybe.
I'm teetering.
I'm here now.
Oh, I miss you, Anthony.
Come home. Oh my God, he's the new Steven.
Oh my God.
Anthony, don't you go moving to Colombia now.
Anthony, now I know I was wrong. I messed up, and now you're gone. Again, it's just a two-man show.
But you know what that means? We're eating more food in the studio today.
Yeah. Who loosened my mic like this? Who decided this was a good idea? What is this? It's my bad.
Is the mic too loose, or is your jack just too small?
Maybe, but we'll find out. Oh, and it's just spinning.
I like that better.
Honestly,
I like that angle better.
Honestly, yeah, this is more of a reporter.
See, that's what you were making fun of me for a couple weeks ago, but now you see that it's superior.
Because you're listening, obviously, on the podcast.
I'm Walter Cronkite, and this is Good Morning Tonight.
But my microphone keeps flipping over, but now it's in even better position, some would say.
That's a lie. He's slouching so much now, and the microphone is falling farther and farther. Oh, this is such a shambles.
What is this? Why? Okay, anyways, so we got a great show for you, like always, here in the Bill Brown recording studio.
A shout out, Bill Brown, friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
He's in this very esteemed company.
Yeah, and oh my, and the microphone is okay.
Okay, well, anyway, while he messes around with that, I was able to actually go out and see a movie this week, and believe it or not, guys, I don't want to give too much away. I think I might have actually seen a movie from the Big 2-6 that I liked.
What?
Only time will tell. I always love it when that happens. That's the thing about horror movies. So many of them are so bad, but when a good one is good, it really hits.
It really does.
But the only way I think to make a good horror movie is to do something unexpected. You can't have a haunted house or a possessed child anymore. Nobody cares. You have to do something out of the box, and that's exactly what Obsession was able to do. So we'll talk about all that and maybe more. Are we going to do the game temple? Because I actually have some video game news now.
Well, I mean, if you have some news, then obviously we're going to do the game temple.
It involves one of my favorite franchises, Fallout. Maybe it's going to a different developer. Maybe somebody from the past who made some better ones.
Oh, snap. Yeah, we'll hear more about that on the Game Temple. I heard Xbox was actually cutting a lot of studios.
Yeah, they cut some good ones too. They cut Arcane.
Yeah,
I really liked Arcane.
Arcane, because they made that terrible vampire game, right?
Did they make that Masquerade 2?
No, not Masquerade 2. The one where you had to like.
Oh my God! Yeah. Yeah,
it was like
they
a
made
co-op.
that?
Yeah, like kind of like Fallout, but you were hunting vampires.
Right. Yeah, that was a shambles as well. I remember that was supposed to be very bad.
They were in the process of making the Blade Marvel game, so gonna continue with the vampire theme.
Well, they like many developers, they make great things in the past. The first Dishonored was a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Dishonored 2 is probably an 8 out of 10, and they made that other one too, where it's like Dishonored on a space station. Prey, I think that one was okay.
I thought Bethesda made Prey.
I think it was a
collab,
you're right? I think it was a collab.
I think it was a collab. Yeah, Prey was all right. Dishonored 1 was classic. Sending the rats out to eat the people.
Oh yeah, and then when you would kill people, if you killed a bunch of people, the later missions would be so much more bleak and they'd look different. It was really innovative, especially for the time.
Yeah, that's a good game. I haven't
played the
thought
second
about that
one?
game in a while, and I never got through the second game.
It's not bad at all, and in some ways it's better, but I think that it's not as good overall. The gameplay's a little tighter, the maps are a little bit bigger, but it didn't do enough interesting new things.
just was a reskin. They tried to pull the Far Cry method, but
Kind of. Yeah. They tried doing a different character you could play as. That was one of the problems, though. They always want the protagonist to be so damn chatty. He didn't say much in the first one, and now every time he's like, I wonder what would happen if I crawled through that window. Bro, shut up.
Did you accidentally have game hints on, maybe?
Accidentally. I'm not a real gamer. I always have them on. Speaking of video games, I did that thing you told me on Madden. I gave Brady a 7-year contract, and I boosted everything to 99. Because the GOAT's got to be the GOAT. He can't be a 68 on one of the stats. It's 99 all the way.
99 overall made him 20 years old. If you make him 20 years old, then he'll never retire.
Yo, I'm doing that too.
Oh man, yeah, that's the move. If you make him 20 years old, then you won't even have to make him 99 in every position, because then he'll like super upgrade, because he'll like.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna do that. I mean, I should probably try to lock Mike Evans in too before we know he's gonna flee the ship.
There you go. Well, because you're playing like Madden 22, 23?
22, 23, the one with Madden on it.
Yeah, 23 then. So yeah, that was the last year with Tom Brady in the game.
No Gronk though, but I swear we had Gronk.
Did not have Gronk that season. Gronk retired after the Super Bowl season. So Brady played 2 years after.
Wow, that sucks. There's no way I'm going to be able to get him in now. Well,
yeah.
Can I get like a legacy roster? Surely I can.
That's what I was going to tell you. On Download Center, there should be created rosters of like legend rosters and rosters of like the past. And what's cooler is in the newer games, it's all shared between the different like Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. So because the newer games, you can also download the PC rosters.
You can get the Avengers as a team, probably.
You can download your own teams through that, but you can also download. A lot of the time when like a player would make a whole roster, it'd just be like random fake face models, and it wouldn't, the PC people have loaded in like the face models of the legends and the actual, like, if they're like in the game, because thanks to Ultimate Team, a lot of them still are, because they have cards in that game. Then you can still have those face models. Like Tom Brady can still be used with his face model, with everything, in Madden 26 or Madden 25.
Okay.
If you download through the it is 26. If you download through the download center, so pretty cool stuff.
That might be the move. I want that Super Bowl team. That's what I want.
Yeah, I think you can honestly get that Super Bowl team. You can look up specific years and stuff. If somebody's made it,
you wouldn't believe what I mean, because you play the game, so you'll know. You wouldn't believe what I did. First game of the preseason, returning the opening kickoff. I tap right bumper. I'm like, maybe I can do a little celebration or something. I throw the ball away. The Dolphins recover it and run it in for a touchdown.
Yeah. Yep.
And then I got a penalty for roughing the kicker on the point after. It was horrible.
Well, because you tried to block it.
I did try to block it, yeah.
You hit his foot. Can't do that. And yeah.
It's sweet when you do block it, though. I've blocked it a couple times, and it's like, oh my God.
Yeah. I think it's almost like completely luck based, because it'll like slow down the game for you during certain times. So it all depends on your person's rating compared to the kicker's awareness rating or something like that.
Is it violating the spirit of the game to go through my entire roster and put every skill of every player to 99?
I think it's fun. Is it a challenge, or
what if I put it on the hardest possible difficulty, but then I also do all that? That seems like a good counterbalance, I think.
Yeah. There's been rebuilds online where it's kind of like the opposite, like starting with a 0 overall team and then like completely rebuilding to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So it'd kind of be like the opposite effect of that, where you're playing on the hardest difficulties, but you have the best team to begin with, but you have to play the game.
You have to play the game right. Yeah.
So I think it's a fun challenge to be had there. And I think that's a good way to cap off our little intro. When we come back, it'll be vibing with Vince. But first, we don't got a song break. So here's a little downtime. And we're back with Vibing with Vince. And to continue with the NFL offseason, that means there's not a lot of news to be had with the NFL. So what does Vibing with Vince continue to do? Continue to talk about another sport that I'm interested in, and that is UFC. We just went through last month the White House event, and this month the big event hyping up to uh, was obviously McGregor versus Holloway 2. The last time they faced, McGregor won on prelims of a card that was headlined by Chael Sonnen versus Shogun Rua. So
I've heard of those guys.
Classic.
Wait, was it one of those guys? Oh, no. I was thinking of the other guy. No, he's funny though. I know who that guy is.
Shale Sonnen.
Yeah, he's funny.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the guy that was in GTA 4, but that was the other guy.
That was
Boz Rutan.
That was Boz Rutan.
Yeah.
Jan Blankowitz is in Skyrim.
Really?
Fun fact. Yeah.
Who?
And
is he a guard?
Yeah, he does a voice of like of a character, and then you can it's like a mission in the game, like
Huh.
yeah.
Okay.
I have to look it up afterwards in our downtime of the next segment. But yeah,
I know every NPC in Skyrim and the routines, so
But
I'm sure I'll recognize this guy.
last time McGregor and Holloway faced, McGregor wasn't the face of the company. He was just starting out. Holloway was just a baby. He was like 20, 21 years old. Like I said, Chael Sonnen was still at the top of his career, which obviously we know never got the championship gold. And completely different a landscape today. McGregor was trying to come back at 170 to become the first ever 3-time champ, because he was the first ever double champ, winning both the featherweight and the lightweight belt. 0 title defenses though, which is a fun fact. When he won he won the featherweight belt and then vacated it to go up to lightweight to get the lightweight belt, and then after he won the lightweight belt, boxed Floyd Mayweather and had his belt stripped for inactivity. So when he came back to fight Khabib, that was actually Khabib was the champion, so he was the challenger and lost. And
you think at 160, 170, do you think these guys could take Bradley Martin? Bradley Martin's 260 though.
Bradley Martin is 260.
But he's 260 though.
I think a professionally trained fighter, yeah, could take Bradley Martin, yeah.
Friend of the show.
Friend. And we'll kind of talk about what happened versus McGregor and Holloway in a minute. I do want to kind of go over the fights beforehand, just in a little fast recap. All this information is on UFC.com. So the prelims, there was 2 fights I really want to talk about, which this card was so stacked. You had prelims that were actually worth talking about. You had Gable Steveson versus Elisha Ellison. Gable Steveson is his first fight in the UFC. He's a former gold Olympus medal wrestler.
Oh, okay.
He also, on top of being a gold medalist, tried out for the Buffalo Bills and was in the WWE for about a year. So he's got a background.
I can't believe how much I don't know what permeability there is between WWE and UFC, because I mean, controversial take. One is performance art, I feel like. So I'm kind of surprised that there's such people going in between them so much.
I think in order to do the performance art, you still have to be a real athlete.
You have to be an athlete,
yeah. So I think that, of course, I'm not to break anybody's bubbles here, but the matches are scripted, and the things that go on
careful
in
now.
the WWE are fake. That they still put their bodies on the line every day and go through adverse moments that could injure if they're not doing it properly or 100% safely.
Not to be too controversial, I do feel the same could be said of performers in Cirque du Soleil.
No, I agree. I think it almost has the
You
same...
never see a Cirque du Soleil to UFC pipeline.
Well, a lot of the time, some WWE wrestlers are like the acrobatic type, but a lot of the time the WWE stars that get famous are your big men, are your Brock Lesnar's,
Yep.
are your
John Cena.
Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle,
Yeah.
who
Oh yeah.
who actually have some real athletic talent behind them. And so, fun fact, I guess, I know we're going a little off course here. Brock Lesnar actually, went to do both, was a former UFC champion. Kurt Angle wanted to go to UFC also, but they wanted him on the Ultimate Fighter. They didn't want him to be straight up, and so he denied.
Oh.
Same thing for Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley was fighting in regionals, and I ended up fighting in Bellator also. 17-2 professional MMA record. They wanted him to go through the Ultimate Fighter instead of going straight up through the ranks.
Yeah.
Why that is? I don't know. We've seen it happen before where
these guys are known to be good characters on television. I mean, it makes sense.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense to a certain degree, but then to your counterpoint, there was also a lot of fighters who should have been given the leeway right into the UFC, like the Diaz brothers, like Kimbo Slice, who
R.I.P.
who had to be forced through the Ultimate Fighter, didn't just go right into the UFC.
Yeah.
So, and they weren't really huge person. I mean, Kimbo Slice was a personality.
When I was a kid, I had a Morrowind character named Kimbo Slice, and all I did was hand to hand.
Yeah, that's fire.
He was OP actually.
Because if you upgrade the
hand to hand, it goes crazy in Morrowind.
Yeah. But yeah, let me fastly recap. So Gable Steveson, the Olympic gold medalist, who got to start right in the UFC, didn't go up through the Ultimate Fighter, won against Alicia Ellison. They kind of fed him a can, so they kind of fed him trash. So we'll see if his next fight they give him an actual competitor. And then after, they have Robert Whittaker on the prelims, which Robert Whittaker is a former middleweight champion, was the longtime middleweight champion before Israel Adesanya took it from him back in like 2017, 2018. And this was his first move from middleweight to light heavyweight. And he beat longtime UFC veteran Nikita Krylov in the third round by breaking his jaw. And it was crazy. Had money on it. Won.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
How much did you win?
$5 for $38 for that win. Gable Stevenson's fight to go over 2 minutes, and another fight to win that I'll talk about in just a minute. So to start the card, they had Bobby King Green versus Terrence McKinney. They matched them up for the same exact reason. They're two guys that within the first few minutes of the fight are the dangerous fighters ever. They got super, powerful hands. Thing is, they both have terrible cardio, so they both wind up incredibly easily. So it was I could see why they put him at the beginning of the card. They wanted
it's not going to last that long.
Yeah, they wanted a big knockout to start the fight. That's exactly what happened. With 1 second left to go in the first round, King Green knocks out Terrence McKinney. King Green is actually the longtime veteran at 35-17. Terrence McKinney now is 18-8 now. So
I feel like statistically that's more impressive though.
More impressive, but Terrence McKinney has not fought in the UFC for quite as long as King Green has, and King Green has fought and lost to some of the greatest like Islam Makhachev and a few others.
Are they ever going to do a fight where it's Israel versus Islam? That'd be an interesting one. I'll tune in for that one.
2 different weight classes.
Oh no!
And Adesanya is on the out of his career, while Islam is still 28-1 on the top of his career.
Oh wow! Okay, that's pretty good.
Then we had Brandon Royval win by submission, rear naked choke in the third round against Loner Kavanaugh. These were 2 guys in the flyweight division that, if Kavanaugh would have won, I think he would have been the next in line for a shot at the belt, or at least to to be the number 1 title contender, or be in the match for the number 1 title contender, because he's 10-1. He's beats great competition in the UFC. And
If you would have told me that was just one of these guys' names, I would have believed you. Great competition is going up today.
But Kavanaugh got dropped by a blow, and then Royval locked in the guillotine, and he
over.
tapped, yeah. And Royval, it is a I think could be in line for the belt. I think he's I think 18-8 also, or very similar to that. Where here I can pull it up right now.
And while he's pulling that up, I would like to remind you that if you're listening to us right now, you're listening to us on Hawk Radio at live365.com. Also, if you are listening to us on YouTube, I would hope that you're listening to us on at the Weekly Roundup _1.
Brandon Royval is now 18-9. So I think that he did just lose to now champion Joshua Van, and he did lose to Manel Kape, which I think Manel Kape is next in line for the championship after they do Joshua Van versus Pantoja 2, which Van won the belt because Pantoja injured his arm in the fight. So there's still a lot of unclear stuff that needs to be settled between those two in the flyweight division. But I say that to say I feel like the flyweight division is still the most stacked that it's ever been. I mean, when you think about the flyweight division in years before, you really only had Demetrius Johnson, Mighty Mouse, and that's it. Like, who was Mighty Mouse really facing? If you want it to be at the top of the competition at that time, you were a bantamweight. You're the TJ Dillashaw, Cody Garbrandt's kind of era, and but now the flyweights, we have, Kape, we have Joshua Van, Pantoja, Royval, and Kavanaugh, which are both, I think Kavanaugh is still very young in his career, and Royval could very much get a shot in the future if he. I don't know who they match him up against, to be honest, since he lost to the #1 contender and to the champion in his last two fights before this victory.
You got to go down a little bit. If you lost to the champ and to the #1, you don't get #2. I'd give him 5 or below.
Well, that was Kavanaugh. He was 5.
Oh, give him 6.
No, maybe we'll see. So the co-main, the third fight on the card, on the main event card, was Mario Batista versus Corey Sandhagen. This is the fight that I actually bet on Mario Batista to win, and how I finished out my 5 for $38 parlay. And
Wait, how many legs did you hit?
It was 3 legs.
Okay.
So it was the Stevenson going over 2 minutes, Whitaker to win, and then Mario Batista to win.
Okay.
And they all hit.
Hey.
And on paper, I don't see why anyone would have thought Sandhagen would have won. Mario beat Sandhagen their first time around, and even though Sandhagen won to Figueiredo, he did lose to Merab in a championship fight beforehand to this, and I haven't seen anything in Sandhagen's game since last time he fought Mario Batista to say that he's gonna get the one uppance on Batista, which is exactly what happened. They still went to decision, and Batista won by unanimous decision. It was 28-29, scored all 3 ways. So
pretty close.
Pretty close all the way around. And then we go to the co-main event, which was Paddy Pimblett versus Benoit Saint Denis. A Scouser doesn't get knocked out. Whatever.
What's a Scouser?
That's what Paddy Pimblett calls himself.
Okay.
He's a London Scouser.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's the guy with the stupid bowl.
Right. Careful, he might be listening.
Oh, yeah.
With the very nice bowl cuts.
Yeah. And he was like, I just heard my friend pass the other day. If you or your friends are struggling with mental health,
What?
That's the video I always see passed around of like his after win speech. I don't even know what fight he said that for, but Paddy Pimblett is 24-4 going against Saint Denis, who was 17-3 walking into this
He's
fight.
struggling with this mic.
This
over
mic
here.
is terrible, bro.
We need to get the radio station manager in here to address these issues, I think.
Oh man, it's almost like I am the manager. It's crazy.
It's a poor craftsman who blames his own tools.
Anyways, Paddy Pimblett lost to Justin Gaethje at the beginning of the year, but before that was undefeated in the UFC. So he's still a big name, and he choked out Benoit Saint Denis in under a minute. Probably the submission of the year.
That's actually from a minute from when the fight started.
A minute from
That's embarrassing.
52 seconds.
That's embarrassing.
Because Benoit Saint Denis is a striker, and he could have easily outstruck Paddy Pimblett. The one facet where Benoit would have lost is if they went on the ground, because Paddy Pimblett's more of a submission technician than he is.
Yeah.
You know? Benoit decides, I'm going to shoot for a takedown the first 30 seconds into the fight.
Okay.
So the striker goes in for a takedown, obviously gets crammed, lands out on the ground, and next thing you know it, Paddy Pimblett's got him in this insane spider choking him out on the ground. He's literally telling the referee he's unconscious. Call the fight. He's literally, I feel him in my hands.
Oh my god, that's a good one.
So,
what do you think's more powerful, the striker or the grappler?
I think the grappler is better than the striker. I think that was
to go that way
in the original UFC tournament, because I don't know if you know or remember, but Royce Gracie was like UFC royalty for a long time because he was a jiu-jitsu black belt who took down strikers.
Seems like jiu-jitsu is the name of the game, really.
Yeah, you know. Paddy Pimblett is a black belt in jiu-jitsu too, by the way.
It's tough to beat.
Dang Mike, bro.
Somebody, I think it was Rogan or somebody, they described jiu-jitsu as the art of folding clothes with people in them.
Yes. And quite literally, what he did, folded up Benoit and choked him out and sent him packing. I think they give Paddy Pimblett Ilia Topuria next. The guy who just lost in the main event of the White House card. They both have beef against each other. They were both in the lightweight division. Topuria's now the #1 ranked contender after just losing the belt. And what better than give him the #5 ranked opponent who just choked out the #6 ranked opponent in less than a minute.
Makes sense.
And so we'll see where that leads. Which the whole fight leading up to the whole card leading up to the main event was awesome. Now this main event, terrible. McGregor, normally comes out, he's super excited, he's got a big smile on his face. McGregor did not want to be there. It you could tell in his eyes, tell in his facial expressions, he wouldn't look at Max Holloway before the fight began. It was weird. His whole energy, his demeanor was off.
You think it was like an intimidation thing, or he just was not feeling it?
There's some rumors.
He was coming down off of a binge.
I will. No. He's actually been the most drug tested.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Fighter this year.
Oh, that makes sense.
Going into this fight, I think. Well, we'll talk about rumors and or what could have happened. I'll quickly explain what happened in the fight. First 10 seconds, he goes out and throws a flying leg kick.
Connor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tears his ACL.
He's got to stop kicking.
His knee.
Connor, friend of the show, Conor McGregor, please stop kicking.
And so Holloway, he's on the ground, he's trying to kick up, and Holloway's again pointing at the ref, ref, he's hurt. Connor goes, keep fighting. So they do.
Okay.
Connor gets up, he tries to throw some strikes.
Yeah.
He steps in it wrong, he winces, calls off the fight. It's over.
God. Oh, that's it. Was this his return?
Big return after 5 years.
Horrible.
Which, if you remember, the last time he fought was against Dustin Poirier, which he stepped back and broke his leg.
Right.
Yeah. So it was his other leg, by the way.
Oh my gosh. I hate to say it, because I've known Connor since I was a kid, not personally, but I hate to say it, but I think he's done. I think it's time to stop.
So there's a few rumors. One rumor was that he told the UFC that he was dealing with an injury earlier in the week. They told him that it was going to go on no matter what, and so he's like, okay, and so that's why he intentionally did that kick within the 10 seconds, because if you could see him walking up, the way he like was even like taking off his shoes, it could tell that that leg was hurting him.
Yeah.
Like, so the rumor is that he sent out the kick just to fully pop it. The other rumor is that he intentionally took the fall for the Irish mob.
I like that one better.
Because there's some rumors that him and the Irish mob, while the few years he got into partying, got into some bad antics with each other. There's a full story with laydowns that I can't get into right now because we're going a little behind on time. But yeah, basically there's long standing history between him and the mob, and if you know, there was big odds on McGregor. $5 bet won $15. It was like times 3.
Okay.
So a lot of people, including myself, I put $7 on McGregor, thinking the McGregor name is gonna win.
Right.
In return, he sullies the sports books, makes a lot of people a lot of money.
Yeah.
And because who was betting on Holloway in Ireland? Nobody.
People in the know.
Yeah, people in the know.
Yeah.
But
that's entirely possible.
The common folk,
right? We had no way to know.
Exactly. Had no way to know.
Of those two, which do you think is the more dishonorable option? I almost feel like it's the former, right? It's going out there, because I think if you're going into the fight and you know you're injured, maybe they shouldn't make you take the fight. But if you take the fight, I feel like you should see it through to the best of your ability. But it does, as you say, kind of sully the game a little bit if you're deliberately taking a fall for the mob. But I almost feel like that's defensible in some way, right? Because
your life is on the line.
Your life is on the line, and also you have an obligation to repay your debts too. And if he couldn't repay the debt any other way,
it's not
he has
like
to
it
repay
hasn't been done before. Mike Tyson and a lot of other
don't
big fighters.
Mike Tyson really is a friend of the show.
Yeah.
We love Mike Tyson. My favorite Mike Tyson project though is the Mike Tyson Mystery Team.
Mike Tyson Mystery.
Have you seen Mike Tyson Mystery Team?
Is that like Scooby-Doo?
Yes.
No.
It's a cartoon. It's him. It's Norm Macdonald as a talking pigeon, and it's the dean from Community as a ghost.
Are you sure this isn't just a shroom trip?
It's real. It feels like one, but it's real, and it's amazing. There's like 76 episodes. Look it up. It's definitely worth watching.
Okay. But yeah, all in all, UFC 329, awesome card up until the main event. Main event solely pretty much the whole night. Think about the people that spent thousands of dollars to see McGregor's returns, the people that spent way more than just $7 on betting on McGregor. A lot of money was lost from a lot of common folk. A lot of rich people made a lot more money.
It seems to be a common theme in the world these days.
It is a common theme.
It's the transfer of wealth.
It is the transfer of wealth.
It's that's what the Great Reset talks about, right? Is transferring all the wealth into the hands of the elites.
Thanks to my intro to environmental science class, did you know we're living in the 6th world extinction? By the way.
Yeah, a lot of things going extinct. Well, it's because it's as this is a callback to a conversation I had with a homeless person the other day before one of my tours. We're living in the end times. That's why these things are happening.
Yeah, we probably are. When we come back, we'll talk about this year's, not only this year's highest selling horror movie, but this decade's highest selling horror movie, just outbeating Sinners.
Was it really?
Yes. Well, making over $400 million in the box office, but we'll talk more about that in a minute. And we're back. Take it away, Dustin, with Obsession.
All right. So I watched Obsession, as you said, movie that's sweeping the nation.
Kind of a Supernatural plot when you think about it. I feel like Supernatural did something very similar where it was...
The series?
Yeah.
I never watched it.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Do I need to?
I think... The first 5 seasons is okay.
I read that. I was thinking about watching it. They said the first 5 seasons are good, and the other 10 are worth skipping.
Yeah, kind of, because the first 5 seasons were written, created, directed by Garth, by the same guy who did The Boys.
Oh, okay. Garth Brooks did The Boys?
Not Garth Brooks.
Friend of the show, famous serial killer,
Famous-
Garth Brooks.
I'm thinking of the writer of the actual Boys comic, but it's not the guy.
Oh, okay.
Because Garth Ennis is the writer of the actual. I'm thinking about
I wonder who he's
Eric
thinking about.
Kripke.
Oh.
So Eric Kripke wrote, directed, produced Supernatural for the first 5 seasons. Also did all the seasons of The Boys.
There was 5 seasons of that, wasn't there?
Yeah, yeah.
See, he knows. The show shouldn't go beyond 5, really.
And he also did. He also wrote and did Timeless, which Timeless was about the show with the pill, like the.
Oh, like Limitless, the movie?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
You know what was an odd show? Was Severance.
Is that Apple TV? I haven't been able to
Yeah.
watch it. I've been hearing interesting things about it. Coleman Domingo is like the African American dude,
The
with
heavy guy?
mustache.
Oh, with the mustache.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant the other guy. Yeah, yeah, I like him. Yeah.
He was also the best actor in the new Running Man because he was the show runner the
Oh,
whole
was he?
time. Yeah,
Oh.
he was the not.
Hold on, he was the best actor in The Running Man? Shots fired at Capybara Man. Don't know his name, won't learn. It's Glenn Powell. I don't care. He's Capybara Man.
Capybara Man.
Yeah, I like the show mostly for what's that guy's name? It's not Willem Dafoe. It's the guy, Christopher Walken. I'm a big Christopher Walken fan.
You walk in here.
You know, he's one of the most copied impersonations, but nobody can really do him right.
Yeah, no one can do him right.
It's really hard.
But what I was getting at with the Supernatural thing is there's an episode in Supernatural that's basically a very similar premise to the premise in Obsession, where like he wishes on this girl to like love him forever.
Yeah.
and like he like the guy, because a little brief synopsis on Supernatural basically is like NCIS or Criminal Minds, where every episode is a different killer, but every episode
I like a monster of the week.
but every episode's a different monster.
Yeah.
So this entity,
X-Files.
yeah, kind of
Yeah.
X-Files ish. There you go. This generation's Buffy the Vampire Slayer, even.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of more, because it's kind of more like the teen adult kind of. So I would say more like this generation's Buffy.
Okay.
And so
So that's why I don't think I can get into it now. I think I'm too old to start watching a
No.
TV Y17 show.
Yeah, maybe there's still some moment. This is actually funny because I actually just started rewatching Supernatural a few weeks ago. There are definitely some moments that are like, oh, that's such 2000s cheesy writing.
Yeah.
But like, I still think it's a good show. It's just in the same way I just turn on NCIS to have something in the background. You know, I'm like,
okay.
I'm like vacuuming.
Yeah.
I'm doing things around the house.
Yeah.
But like, because I've already seen.
I always liked that goth chick on NCIS.
Yeah. You know, I know most of the episodes, so it's like it's just kind of like background music.
I have
for me
so
right
many
now.
shows like that.
Yeah,
Mostly I just have like
Family Guy is.
yeah,
the
I have Seth
classic.
MacFarlane. I have all the Seth MacFarlane shows on loop. Even the Cleveland show, which I've warmed to.
The Cleveland show is actually pretty good.
You know, it's not particularly funny, but it's funny enough that you can keep watching it, and it's I like Cleveland. You know.
I almost think American Dad gets better in the later seasons when it's like starts to move away straight from like the political. Every episode is just making fun of
Right.
politics and start to
Yeah.
move into the actual characters and like stories itself.
Give
Because
me a Steve and Roger episode any day.
right, because
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, like the first 3 or 4 seasons of American Dad is just straight like just whatever Seth MacFarlane thought of politics.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which we already know what Seth MacFarlane thinks of politics because he's Brian.
yeah,
Brian is a self-insert character.
yeah, he is.
That's why he doesn't put on a voice for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, though, Obsession. Or
Yeah.
no, or, did you have more?
No. I was just basically saying Obsession is a very similar plot to a Supernatural episode.
You know that makes sense because it's a classic setup, right? Be careful what you wish for. is the lesson that's learned from these, and it goes all the way back to the old Twilight Zones lessons like that. Not one of my favorite episodes of Twilight Zone at all. It's probably one of my least favorite because it was one of the bad ones, but it was interesting anyway. A guy finds a genie, right, and he makes a series of wishes. And the first two I don't remember. They're disastrous, right? They don't work out at all. But he keeps thinking he's gonna win. So he goes, all right, fine. I've got one last wish. I got to make sure it's perfect. I don't know. Have you ever thought about your perfect genie wish?
No, I haven't.
I've thought about it in depth. If we have time at the end of the segment, we'll talk about our favorite genie wishes. But this guy, he says, all right, fine. I've got one last wish. I'm gonna make it perfect. I want to be the leader of a nation, and I want to make sure that I can't be deposed or elected out. And I want to make sure it was at least in the 20th century, right? That he thinks that's a perfect wish. He closes his eyes. He comes to. He's Hitler at the end of World War II. So again, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
He was already in the bunker. He didn't even get. He didn't even get any of the wins. He was in the bunker. So be careful what you wish for.
And in the bunker, the reason why they think Hitler killed himself wasn't because they thought he didn't want to turn himself in. It was because he was severely withdrawing on opiates because he had a horrible opiate addiction.
It's possible. I don't believe, and this is getting off the rails a little bit, I don't believe that he did die in that bunker. I believe that he went to Argentina.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's what I believe. There's even there's an old white man in Argentina who claimed to be him. And you show the side-by-sides, you can see it.
But no man would. I don't think if I'm like running away, I'd ever claim.
I think if I was like pretty much dead, if I was in my last year or so, I think I'd be like, I was Hitler.
Just straight up drop it and then go.
I'd grow the mustache back too.
Wasn't the first time he dropped a big bomb.
Did he?
Well, yeah, he constantly bombed.
Oh, I guess.
Yeah.
I thought that was.
I
thought that was a nuclear
atomic bomb.
I thought that was a Hiroshima joke.
No. But I was just talking about like in general.
He did drop some bombs.
He dropped a lot of bombs.
No,
actually.
for sure. The Blitz.
Yeah.
Man, who could forget the Blitz? Eating beans and toast in a subway station.
Anyway.
And they're still eating beans on toast now. The Blitz is over. You can have whatever you want.
But the Brits and the Polish and everyone else, they just love beans on toast.
They do. I've had it, but I've never bought the actual. You can go on Amazon, buy the actual blue can of Heinz beans that they use for beans on toast. I just use like pinto beans. It's not too bad though. It's kind of a little Brit Mex, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Anyway, though, now we're talking about food. We're gonna do that in a later segment. So. Obsession. A lot of movies, I come on here, and longtime viewers of the show you'll know, I am so disappointed a lot of times. I come in here and I'm like, God, I had to sit through another horrible movie.
Yep.
Luckily, kind of ironically, the curse has been broken. Now, I almost don't want to spoil this one because it's so good, but at the same time, I want to talk about the movie. We have one listener, they've probably already seen it, so.
I feel like...
Well, you haven't even seen it.
I haven't even seen it, so I feel like I would like to see it.
Okay, well, how do I talk about the movie with... I'll do minimal spoilers. I'm not sure how to describe it with none. But it's basically a story about a guy, not a bad guy, but kind of a weak guy. He is in love with a coworker. We don't even know for sure that she... at this point, that she didn't love him back, right? They had chemistry, but he never had the wherewithal or the courage to tell her. And she's leaving the job, and so now it's now or never. So he goes to this little work event, and he's talking to her on the phone beforehand. She says, "Oh, I lost my crystal necklace." So he stops at one of those hippie stores on the way to the event, picks her up a new crystal necklace, and sitting there on the counter is an item called Wishing Willow, I think. And it's basically a little willow branch in a elaborate cardboard box. You break the willow, you make a wish, and whatever you wish for is supposed to come true. Well, we've all seen items like this in the store before. It's a gimmick. So he goes, he doesn't ask her out at the thing. He drives her home, still doesn't ask her out. She's getting out of the car, and she actually gives him a chance. She goes, if you like me, now is the time to tell me. And he can't do it. He's like, well, I think you're a great friend. And she kind of rolls her eyes and leaves. And he's sitting in the car, of course, feeling bad about himself, as anyone would in that situation. And so he pulls out his wishing willow and he cracks it. He says, "I wish she would love me more than anyone in the world." As soon as that happens, she stops, turns around, comes back to the car, and is insistent on getting him to come in the house. keeps insisting. She even makes up a story that he's never heard before about a personal tragedy that she's experiencing. And, he eventually goes inside. The situation progresses. They start making out a little bit. And at one time, she seems to almost come out of a trance. And she recoils away from him and starts shouting and screaming. And this lasts for about 2 seconds until she snaps right back into being all into him. Well, he starts getting a little bit perturbed about this, right? He's concerned about her mental health. He goes and confides in one of his friends at work. Says, I think she's going through something, right? But be that as it may, he still likes her, and she now won't leave him alone. So naturally, our relationship progresses out of this. A relationship that becomes, toxic, I think would be an understatement. At one point, this woman duct tapes their door closed so that he can't go to work, but she never says anything crazy. Anytime that he'll talk to her about these strange things she's doing, she'll do like almost shadow demon stuff. He'll wake up in the night and she's standing in the corner of the room all rigid, just being creepy like a demon. And I'll talk to her and she'll be like, yeah, no, that was weird. You're right. I'm sorry, babe. Like, really like being normal and de-escalating it. And, the story goes on from there. Now, this is where I struggle with spoilers, right? Because if I talk about what happens, it is going to spoil what happened. But needless to say, the Wishing Willow is a central part of this. And as the story goes on, we learn that perhaps it's not so much that she has fallen in love with him as though she took a love potion. It almost seems as though her body has been stolen by some type of a djinn or a demon that could only fulfill his wishes. The situation, of course, gets very, very bad from there and ends in a very dramatic choice that he has to make at the end. This movie reminded me of other horror movies that have came out recently that I liked, not in its story structure, but in that it was unique enough that I didn't feel like I had watched the same movie. I don't know if I said this to you on air or off air earlier. I think it was off air, but a lot of these movies they make now, you can't do it anymore. You can't do the haunted house. You can't do the demon-possessed child. Nobody cares. We've all seen it 1,000 times. This movie was fresh, and I was on the edge of my seat, honestly.
Right.
And, what I do when I review a lot of these movies is I give them a test. Now, you might think that this makes me a little bit less of a credentialed movie reviewer, but I don't care. This is the test that I do, and this is how I decide if a movie's good or not. I put the movie on, but I'll also play some Fallout 4, or I'll play some Halo. And if the movie is good enough, I will neglect the game and watch the movie. This got me to put down... I was playing Nuka World for probably the first time since it came out. It's actually quite fun. Yeah. I stopped playing Nuka World to see the end of Obsession. Yeah. And because of that, Obsession gets 5 bags of popcorn and a Wishing Willow of your own, but be careful what you wish for.
And because we have 5 minutes left, I don't think it will only get 5 bags of popcorn. It'll also get our Snack Attack Snack of the Week.
Oh, what do we got this time?
So this week, we're continuing the FIFA World Cup.
I'm not online. Is that a thing?
World Cup flavors. That's Speed song. I show Speed song.
Oh, right. He's the one that jumped over the car.
Yeah,
that was cool. That guy shouldn't be streaming. He should be doing something athletic.
And I agree. Last week, I Show Speed was actually on a WWE recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he got RKO'd by Randy Orton not too long ago.
Huh.
No.
Well, he couldn't take Bradley Martin. He's 260.
260 pounds of...
Yeah.
of all muscle, baby. Last week, we tried the steak-flavored Argentinian chips, which were actually really good.
I think I gave that a 9 out of 10,
Yeah, 9
I think.
out of 10.
What did you say, 8?
I said 8, yeah. These are the obviously French onion soup
Yeah.
chips.
Big soccer cleats to fill after last week.
So
Let's
before
see.
I'm going to give a prediction. I have a strong urge just by also looking at these that this is just the Funyun flavoring.
Okay.
That looks like a Funyun.
Okay, I'm kind of excited about that, actually. Let's see. I'm going to smell it first. Okay.
Kind of has a Funyun flavor, but it has this like peppery aftertaste. It's like a a black pepper Funyun.
It is.
Yeah.
This is. You definitely taste the black pepper. There is a Funyun-esque quality to it that I'll admit I rather enjoy.
No, this is actually good.
You know, I like the flavor of the Funyun, but I don't love the texture of the Funyun. So this is kind of the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
The pepper is very strong, but I use pepper heavily in everything I cook at home, so this is just like I would make it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I honestly think these are 9 out of 10. I think these are slightly better than the steak chips.
You know? I tend to, wow. That sound you heard was actually Vince keeling over dead from all of these potato chips.
I actually mic dropped because of how good these were.
You know, yeah, these are quite good. I still can't give it a 10 because I have nowhere to go from there.
Nowhere to go. Yeah, you can't be perfect.
But I will do. Are we ready? Do 9.5.
9.5. Wow.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. All right, Lays.
I see you, Lays.
Your chips of the year so far have all hit.
Now, why can't these just be forever? They already have the seasoning formula. Just give me these forever.
Because then you would they need stuff for you to come back to, you know? They
Every 4 years they're gonna bring back a chip.
Yeah.
Of course, it would be silly to bring back the same chip in 4 years. You gotta have a new chip. Foie gras.
Chicken teriyaki.
Chicken teriyaki boy.
Oh, and that's where we're gonna end it.
That's a classic reference. We don't have time for the temple?
No, it's
No temple time?
actually been an hour.
Oh, wow,
So
okay.
no time for the temple.
Well, Fallout's going back to Obsidian.
Oh!
And they will actually probably have a game for us within the next 5 years or so, which is a lot better than the mid-2030s we were looking at with Bethesda.
I'm still waiting for Elder Scrolls 6.
Oh, well, that'll actually help too. Probably.
Yeah.
Because now they know that's all they got left. Nobody likes Starfield.
But
They lost
guess
Fallout.
No, we need to keep doing Fallout 76 content. We need to keep doing Elder Scrolls Online content, and we need more Diablo content.
Wait, why are they making Diablo content?
Huh?
What's Blizzard?
Oh, it is Blizzard.
Yeah.
We need more.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Oh man, they have nothing. Yeah, I guess
we need another Starfield expansion. People loved Starfield so much.
Yeah.
R.I.P. to Todd Howard's career. But no, this should be good. I think we talked about it on this show. The new head of Xbox, she's not a gamer at all. She used to work for PayPal or something. So I thought this isn't going to go well. Microsoft AI, even worse. But she's making some very common sense business decisions that should have been done a long time ago. So at this point, hats off to her.
The numbers. Mm-hmm. She's looking at logistics. She's saying, here's the things that work. Here's the things that failed.
Well, another thing she does is she's in tune with the online discourse surrounding Xbox. And so she knows people want Fallout. They got this new popular Fallout show that they're capitalizing on it, not at all. They know that she knows that people liked the Obsidian Fallouts better. And almost everybody that worked on, that were like influential in New Vegas and also even the older Fallouts, they're actually still over there at Obsidian, which surprises me because I haven't liked an Obsidian release since probably New Vegas, unless Alpha Protocol came out after.
I guess here's my hot take of the day. I actually liked the first Outer Worlds.
It was just so underwhelming to me. I don't hate it, but it had such promise, and I felt like it didn't live up to it.
The second one, I played like an hour, didn't touch it again.
That's not good.
No, and it wasn't that it was bad either. I just think I don't know. It didn't like inherently lock me in, and I'm at the type of point in my life where if a single player story game, for it to like be the only game that I play for a while,
yeah, it got to be good.
It has to fully like 100% lock me in.
Yeah,
or be something from the past that I remember.
This would be my concern though, right? Because at this point, Fallout games are Elder Scrolls games with guns. So I don't want the new Fallout to feel like a Fallout skinned Outer Worlds. You know, like with the engine and with the way that you interact with things, that would disappoint me.
Yeah, can you imagine having that weird like art texture that Outer Worlds has?
Terrible.
Terrible.
Yeah, I didn't like even the little things like the menus, the inventories. None of it worked for me.
No, it definitely takes a minute to get into, but at the end of the day, they made a better Fallout in space game than Starfield was.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. That's true.
Yeah. And I think that was another great episode of the weekly roundup. This has been 2 out of your 4 hosts, which now is officially back to 2 out of 3 after Mr. BS announced that he's moving.
He has to follow his destiny.
Yeah, follow the hometown. Back to his family up there.
Okay, I personally hate returning to a hometown. That's just me.
Yeah.
Guess it depends where your hometown is, though, too.
And what's going on during those moments? Because
yeah,
maybe he's going up there to. I don't know. I think he just said he wanted to be closer to his family. So
people say that.
People say that. But till next time, this has been Vince Vibes and
Dustin with Showbiz Spotlight signing off.
Signing off.
Good night and good luck.